අප විසින්ම ප්‍රයෝජනයට ගන්නා දේ තුළ ප්‍රයෝජනයට නොගන්නා හා ඉවතලන දේ නිසාම අපගේම රටත් ලෝකයත් සමස්ත සමාජයත් වෙනසෙන බව අපටම නොවැටහේද. දිනකට ශ්‍රී ලංකාව තුළ ගොඩගැසෙන කුණු කසල ප්‍රමාණය මෙට්‍රික් ටොන් 23,000ක් නම් කොළඹ දිස්ත්‍රික්කය තුළ පමණක් දිනකට ජනනය කරන කුණු කසල ප්‍රමාණය මෙට්‍රික් ටොන් 8,000ක් නම් මේ මතින් ගොඩනැගෙන මහා ව්‍යසනයන් ජාති ආගම් කුලගොත් නොතකන කල එයට විසඳුම් සෙවිය යුත්තේ අප විසින් අපම බව සිතා බැලුවාද. දෙවිඳුන් විසින් මවා සුරකින පරිසරය මිනිසුන් විසින්ද සුරැකිය යුතු බව පසක් කරන ශ්‍රී ලාංකීය කතෝලික සභාවේ රාජගුරු මණ්ඩලය එතුමන්ගේම සංකල්පීය හා උපදේශන මතින් ඉදිවුණු කතෝලික සභා සමාජ සත්කාර සංවිධානය වන Caritas Sri Lanka සංවිධානය විසින් හඳුන්වා දෙන ජාතික සත්කාරක ක්‍රියාකාරී වැඩසටහනක මූලාරම්භය 3R සහ Takakura කොම්පෝස්ට් ක්‍රමවේදය හඳුන්වා දීමේ ව්‍යාපෘති පූර්විකාවක අඬහැරයයි.
Very good afternoon to your eminence, your lordships, reverend fathers, reverend sisters, special invitees, Mr. Jayavilal Fernando, Project Director, Solid Waste Management, Project Ministry of Megapolis, Mr. Anuradha Wijeyawardana, Community Development Officer, and all those who are gathered here today. Solid waste management has been the need of the hour. The Catholic Church of Sri Lanka has felt the great responsibility of this call. May I call upon His Lordship, Right Reverend Dr. Vianney Fernando, Bishop Chairman of the Catholic National Commission of Justice, Peace and Human Development, to make the opening remarks.
Your Eminence, Your Lordship, the President of the Bishops' Conference, and my brother bishops, Reverend Fathers, Reverend Sisters, the National Director of Caritas Sri Lanka, Father Mahendra Gunatilaka, and distinguished guests. It's only a few months ago that the Mi Totamulla tragedy gave the country a rude awakening of the importance of solid waste management by the whole nation, by the whole country. And already some time ago, the Supreme Pontiff, our Holy Father Pope Francis, had spoken to the world in his much awaited, long awaited encyclical letter, Laudato Si, about the importance of protecting Mother Earth, as he calls it, our common home. And yet, you know, these exhortations become quite often theories and exhortations at a theoretical level. And so when we found that it hit us very strongly right at in this country, that waste management is the responsibility of all of us, every individual, every family, every community, and that we cannot shirk our responsibility in this regard. And therefore I'm pleased that Caritas Sri Lanka is responding in this manner with some concrete steps which can be owned by everyone, particularly our families all over the country. And so I'm very happy to welcome His Eminence and the President of the Bishops' Conference, Bishop Winston Fernando, and all my brother bishops, as well as all those who are gathered here for this demonstration that will be given to you, which I am sure will be very helpful in your taking up the responsibility and the leadership to diffuse among all our people that Mother Lanka would be able in the near future to protect this beautiful land and engage in solid waste management meaningfully and effectively. Welcome once again and thank you.
Thank you, Your Lordship. I now call upon Senior Executive Manager of Caritas SEDEC, Mr. Yuhua Lee, to explain to us the rationale and scope of this special initiative. Over to you, sir.
Your Eminence, Your Lordships, Reverend Fathers, Reverend Sisters, distinguished invitees, and brothers and sisters. The purpose of my presentation is to quickly give you all an overview, a rationale, and the scope of the project that we are about to launch today. In the visuals shown before, all of you have been reminded about the tragedy that struck us on the eve of our Sinhala and Tamil New Year this year. And so, as His Lordship mentioned, this was a rude wake-up call to all of us. This was definitely a man-made disaster. We ourselves are responsible for creating this situation. And so, just to get us started in terms of the problem, in Sri Lanka, we are told that on a daily basis, 15 million lunch sheets are discarded. Similarly, 20 million shopping bags or silly bags are discarded. And of the total garbage in the country, 10 to 15% contains polythene. From each household, roughly, it is said that about 2.5 to 3 kilos of waste is discarded daily. And the usual ways of dumping is either indiscriminate dumping or landfilling. You'll be startled to know that we have 24 garbage dumps in the whole of the island. And so, obviously, there is pollution and health hazards that affect every one of us. When we bury polythene, what happens? It doesn't decay fast enough. And therefore, the earth is made waste. When you burn polythene, it emits poisonous gases that is found to be causing cancer. The other day, Father Director and some of our Father Directors were traveling to Anuradha. We stopped by the road to have a tambili. And the woman who was giving us the tambili, the seller, also had by the side of the road a little fire that was boiling bada irungu, which is a very common sight in Sri Lanka. And so we had used straws to drink our tambili, and we noticed this woman putting the straws into that fire that was boiling the bada irungu and going close to the fire and saying, trying to light up the fire. Little did she know that the emissions would be causing possibly cancer in her. And this is something that happens even in our home kitchens, where the ammes or sometimes our mothers, put things like yogurt cups to light up the fire. So this is the level of pollution that we are living in. Just to give you an idea about the duration it takes for some of these items to decay or degenerate. If you see at the bottom of the list, plastic bags, it says it takes over 100 million years to decay. And so by indiscriminate disposal, we are actually filling our earth eternally with all these non-degradable items. And so, the reason why we are called to respond, as it was already said, we know that God calls us to be stewards of His creation. We are inspired by the Holy Father's encyclical, Laudato Si. And we are also responding to His Eminence invitation, where he wanted SEDEC to take the lead in terms of starting something that could be sustainable and long-term, that can have positive impacts on the environment here in Sri Lanka. So our focus is going to be twofold. One part of it is going to be definitely an advocacy program to create awareness among ordinary citizens, you and I, for a behavioral and attitudinal change, so that we responsibly manage our waste at the waste generation points. That means our home kitchens, our institutional kitchens. So that's one part of it. The second part of the program, our focus is to contribute meaningfully with the establishment of a solid waste collection and composting center. To give you a little bit more details on the first one, we've already started this awareness campaign in Colombo. As of today, we have addressed the following. We have spoken to about 25 teachers from St. Anthony's Convent Nursery School in Burrell. They are neighbors, so they were the first. We then visited Nayakakanda Convent, where there are about 30 nuns and about 60 inmates who received this awareness. We addressed about 50 members from the SVP group from Jayavilal in our office. And it's good to see that some of them have now taken it further by getting permission from their respective parish priests to conduct this program at the parish level. We've also conducted a program for the minor staff at Aquinas College. We will have few more coming up in the next few months. Let me also not forget Seth Sarana. We did the awareness program last week and actually gave training of trainers for the staff there so that they would be the next to take over this program and carry it forward. In terms of the contribution of the solid waste management and collection center, composting center, this is intended to be in the Diocese of Colombo. We are hoping that we would get a piece of land and set up this center, and we hope that our collection of waste, proper waste, segregated waste, which will be spoken later, will be brought to that center for composting and also for collection so that we could sell some of the segregated items. And this would become an income generating program for Seth Sarana. And I would wish that this would hopefully spread out to the rest of the dioceses. Definitely our plan is to take the advocacy program to all the 13 diocesan centers of Caritas. And then if the respective bishops, Caritas leaders can decide, and if they desire, they could certainly have the second part also implemented in their dioceses. So who would be our target segments? Our advocacy is directed at Catholic institutions, schools, seminaries, apostolates, organizations like the Catholic Press, Catholic community groups, SVP societies, parish mothers unions, Daham Parcelers, and any other interested group. We would be willing to come forward to provide this orientation. And then in terms of the solid waste collection center, our plan, as I said, is to collect and make sure that segregated data is sent to us from our Catholic institutions. We cannot do this as a public activity. So we are limiting ourselves to our Catholic institutions. As I said, where will we do this? Our advocacy efforts will cover all the dioceses. Our value-added service in terms of the collection center will be in Colombo. So just to sum up our goal and objective and the concept, our goal is to have effective solid waste management. Our objective is to minimize waste at the waste generation point. And the concept that we want to promote is 3R plus, the Takakura method of composting, of which you will hear a little bit more details later. Just to remind ourselves of what 3R is, this is something that we all know. This is a worldwide concept, nothing new. It's not rocket science. Reduce, reuse, recycle. So our first advocacy point is, advocacy message is to think and practice the 3R. If we can do that, if many communities and families can do that, half the battle is won. Right? So to give you an example of what reduce means, all of us need to reduce the use of polythene. Thankfully, there's going to be a law coming in which is going to ban polythene and the use of lunch sheets. Right? So even though the law is going to come, let us start thinking and practicing reduction of plastics, polythene, and other non-degradable materials such as PET bottles. Did you know that this is called a PET bottle? This is plastic. This is not plastic. This is PET. You can crush it. So if this is collected, then you can go to the third point, recycling. I'll talk about it a little bit more. Reuse. Instead of using disposable spoons and forks, use stainless steel spoons and forks, cutlery. Glass bottles instead of plastic bottles for water, drinking water. And when you shop, use cloth bags, use cane bags, pun bags, so that we avoid using silly bags. Recycling, again, one of the easiest way of recycling at grassroots level is composting. And that is why we are promoting Takakura. I mentioned the PET bottle. These bottles are now being collected or purchased in Sri Lanka and exported to China. And the Chinese have factories and manufacturing plants that produce polyester out of these. There's a beautiful video. If you are interested, we can send it to you. How bottles like these become polyester, which ultimately we wear on our bodies. This is still not available. The technology is not available in Sri Lanka. This is now exported to China. So if we segregate PET bottles, our collection center can collect them and give it to those vendors who collect this for large scale export. That way we get rid of this instead of burning them in the public. So this is to give you an idea of what reduce, reuse and recycling is all about. Our second advocacy message is think and practice composting at the home level, at the household level. There are many methods of composting. We would promote Takakura. And so we use solid waste, which is typically organic waste. We call it indul in Sinhala. So vegetable, meats, waste, foods, wastes, other readily degradable organic waste for composting. So in our program, we will promote composting. And then our third advocacy message is to segregate. Think and practice segregation at home level, at institution level. Do not dump garbage all together in one lot. So have the segregation bins. We are encouraging people to segregate at home level. At home, I segregate my garbage at home. My wife puts everything together, and I have to segregate it in the evening. So segregation must happen at the grassroots level. So our third message is recycling, segregation for recycling purposes. So if you ask me what will happen to all the cardboard that is collected, what will happen to the glass bottles that are all collected, there are people now, companies that are buying them. At one time, they banned the collection or purchase of colored bottles. Now there are one or two companies that are buying colored bottles. So you can sell them. There's income in these things. So that's how we will segregate and dispose of our garbage instead of going and dumping in places like Mitotomulu. So, Your Eminence, Your Lordship, distinguished invitees, Reverend Fathers, Reverend Sisters, I would pause here now and invite my two colleagues, firstly Terence, to come and give you a brief introduction to Takakura, followed by a little bit more explanation about how effective segregation can be done. Thank you.
Your Eminence, my Lordships, very Reverend Fathers, Reverend Sisters, and special invitees. This was introduced by Japanese Professor Koji Takakura, as you can see on the screen. අපගේ නිවෙස් වල විශේෂයෙන්ම නාගරිකව ජීවත් වන අපගේ නිවෙස් වල ජනනය කරනු ලබන මුළුතැන් ගෙයින් ජනනය කරනු ලබන waste, we call it organic waste ටික තමයි මේ. එය ඊටමත් කඩිනමින් සියලුම පෝෂ්‍ය ගුණයන් ගෙන කියන්නේ කම්පෝස්ට් පොහොරක අඩංගු වෙන්න ඕන සියලුම පෝෂ්‍ය පදාර්ථ වලින් නයිට්‍රජන්, ෆොස්ෆරස්, පොටෑසියම්, සිංක් වැනි දේවල් අඩංගු කාබනික පොහොරක් විදියට මෙන්න මේ ආකාරයට ඉතා කෙටි කලකින් නිර්මාණය කර ගැනීමේ සුවිශේෂී ක්‍රමවේදයක් තමයි මේ තකකුරා කම්පෝස්ටිං ක්‍රමවේදය. මා ඔබට අනුපිළිවෙලින් විස්තර කරන්නම් කෙසේද එය සිදු කරන්නේ කියා. First, we need to prepare two fermenting solutions. One is salt base, the other one is sugar base. we use for this our local ingredients. අපි හදාගත්තට පස්සේ මෙම fermenting solutions දෙක හදාගත්තට පස්සේ අපි දින 4ක් පැසවීම සඳහා කල් තබා ගන්නවා. දින 4කට පසු අපි සූදානම් කර ගන්නවා මෙන්න මේ ආකාරයෙන් we need rice husk and rice dust. සහල් නියුඩු කුඩු සහ දහයිය අපි පාවිච්චි කරනවා 1:1 ratio. ඊට පස්සේ අපි කරන්නේ මෙම නිර්මාණය කරගත්ත අපි හදාගත්ත මේ solutions දෙක පාවිච්චි කරමින් පුංචි බෙඩ් එකක් we call it compost bed අපි එකක් නිර්මාණය කර ගන්නවා. ඒ නිර්මාණය කිරීමේදී අපට අවශ්‍ය නම් පිරිසුදු වතුර ප්‍රමාණයක් පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. Always we advise to maintain the 40 to 60% moisture. ඉන් පස්සේ මෙන්න මේ ආකාරයෙන් අපි මිශ්‍ර කරගෙන ලැබූ මෙම දහය නියුඩු කුඩු සමග fermenting solutions දෙක අපි නැවත වතාවක් පුංචි බෙඩ් එකක් ආකාරයෙන් නිර්මාණය කරලා දින 4ක් නැවතත් රෙදි කඩකින් වගේ දෙයකින් වසා තබනවා. වසා තබා ගත්තට පස්සේ ඊළඟ 4 වෙනි දවසේදී අපිට ගන්නට පුළුවන් මෙන්න මේ ආකාරයේ හිතකර සුද්ධජීවීන් සහ බැක්ටීරියාවන්ගෙන් නිර්මාණය වුණු කම්පෝස්ට් කරණය සඳහා අපිට ඉවහල්න කල්චර් එක. අපි මේකට කියනවා seed compost කියලා. මේ seed compost තමයි අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ මා ඔබට මුලින් පෙන්වූ ආකාරයට මෙන්න මේ ඉඳුල් ටික අපේ නිවසේ අයින් කරනු ලබන ඉඳුල් ටික, ගෙවත් අයින් කරන කොරරොඩු ටික හැම දෙයක්ම යොදා ගනිමින් ඊටමත් ඵලදායීතාවයෙන් යුතු compost බඳුනක් නිර්මාණය කර ගැනීම සඳහා මෙහිදී විශේෂ ආකාරයෙන් මෙන්න මේ ආකාරයේ compost බඳුනක් we use it a breathable container like this covering lining with cardboard box. මෙන්න මේ ආකාරයෙන් නිර්මාණය කරගත්ත මෙන්න මේ බඳුන තමයි අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ අපගේ මෙම කම්පෝස්ට් කරන ක්‍රියාවලියට. ඊටමත් සරලව පහසුව ඵලදායීතාවයෙන් යුතු කම්පෝස්ට් බඳුනක් වෙනුවෙන්. මෙහිදී විශේෂම කාරණාව තමයි අපි අනිකුත් කම්පෝස්ට් ක්‍රියාවලියන් හා සසදද්දී දුගදක් දියර ගැලීමක් කිසි දෙයක් නැතුව ඔබගේ නිවසේ අපගේ නිවෙස්වල මුළුතැන්ගෙයි අපිට ඉඩ පහසු තිබෙන නොතෙමෙන තැනක මේ නිර්මාණය කරගෙන ඉතාමත් පහසුවෙන් කිසිම වෙහෙසක් නැතුව කඩිනමින් කම්පෝස්ට් ක්‍රියාවලියකට යොමු වීමේ වැදගත්කම. අපි මේ ආකාරයෙන් ඔබට පිළිවෙලින් පැහැදිලි කරපු ආකාරයෙන් කරාට පස්සේ අපි කරන්නේ 8 වෙනි දවසේ නැත්නම් අපේ 8 වෙනි දවසෙන් අපි පටන් ගන්නවා අපගේ ඉඳුල් නැත්නම් අපි කියනවා ඕගනික් වේස්ට් ටික කියලා මේකට මිශ්‍ර කරන්නට මෙන්න මේ ආකාරයෙන්. දවසට අපේ මුළුතැන්ගේ ජනනය කරනු ලබන එම ඕගනික් වේස්ට් ටික අපි මේ විදිහට මේකට මිශ්‍ර කරලා සති දෙකක් පමණ යනකම් අපිට පුළුවන් මේක ඒ කියන්නේ අඩුම තරමේ 90ක් වගේ පිරවීමේ මට්ටමකට පැමිණුනහම අපි ඉන් කොටසක් ඉන් අඩක් හොඳට මිශ්‍ර කරනවා දවසට 3 පාරක් මා පෙර සඳහන් කර පරිදි අඩක් අපි අරගෙන නැවත සති දෙකක් මැචුවර් වෙන්න නොතෙමෙන ස්ථානයක තබනවා. ඉන් පස්සේ නැවතත් එම ක්‍රියාවලිය සුපුරුදු පරිදි අපි කරගෙන යනවා. එතකොට ඊටමත් අඩු කාලයකින් සති දෙකක් වැනි අඩු කාලයකින් අපගේ නිවසේ මේ ඉඳුල් ටිකට තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නයට විසඳුමක් හම්බ වෙනවා. කම්පෝස්ට් බඳුනක් අපිට නිර්මාණශීලීව වැදගත් විදිහට කිසිම ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැතුව ගොඩක් අය ඒ කියන්නේ අකමැති වෙනවා කම්පෝස්ට් නිර්මාණය කිරීමේදී අතපත ගන්න ඒ කිසිම දෙයක් නැතුව අපිට ඊටමත් හොඳ කම්පෝස්ට් මෙන්න මේ ආකාරයට නිර්මාණය කරන්න පුළුවන් සති දෙකක් මාසයකටත් වඩා අඩු කාලයකින්. මේ සඳහා ලොකු මුදලක් වැය වෙන්නේ නැහැ. විශේෂම ගෘහස්තව අපගේ මීසම් මට්ටමින් අපගේ අනිකුත් ආයතන මට්ටමින් ඊටාත්ම හොඳින් කම්පෝස්ට් නිර්මාණය කර ගැනීම සඳහා මෙම ක්‍රමය හොඳම ක්‍රමය විදියට Caritas Sri Lanka ජාතික ආයතනයේ හැටියට විශේෂම ස්වාමින් වහන්සේගෙන් ඇවිල්ලා ආරක්ෂා කර ගැනීම, ඒ වර්ධනය කර ගැනීම වෙනුවෙන් අපි වෙහෙස මහන්සි වී සැමටම හඳුන්වලා දෙනවා. ඔබ සැමට ස්තුතියි.
Good evening to everybody. I have come here to give you a very brief overview into the importance of segregation of waste. You might wonder, what is segregation of waste? I mean, what is the importance of segregating waste like this? Is it just to make some quick bucks? Is it a money-making process? Or is it something much more deeper? I mean, in technical sense. Yes. segregation of waste, according to the experts, it is such an important component in the whole solid waste management process. It is because, as you learned today at the presentation, we produce around 23,000 metric tons of waste in Sri Lanka per day. If we are to segregate this at the plants, okay, let's say we have 1 ton, for 1 ton we have 1 person, still we need 23,000 people to segregate them. If we use 10 people to segregate 1 ton, we need 230,000 people to segregate. Huge human labor we need. And the cost, it's time consuming. So what is the solution then? As you learned, we have 2 types of waste. One, organic waste, which is roughly around 10 to 20% of the total waste we generate. And the rest, inorganic or non-perishable, we say non-biodegradable waste, which is almost around 80 to 90% of the total waste we generate. So that is the larger proportion. That is the problem we have. So what is the solution? The solution comes from the second and the third R's of the 3R system: reuse and reduce. But to do that, it is not easy to do that. How do we segregate? We need to segregate them according to their elements, the made up material. For an example, we've learned in Sri Lanka at the Meethotamulla garbage dump, we have put even the body parts. Is it the way that we love the most God-loved, most beloved creature? Is it the way to treat? We need to think this seriously. So what we suggest is you need to segregate them according to their elements or the material made up. We have bottles, we have e-waste, we have papers, it could be metal. It differs according to the household. Some households might produce more bottles than the newspapers or old magazines. But this should be done at the household level. Why? It is cost effective, it is time saving, we save lots of time, and that is the methodology, that is the effective way of doing it at the end of the day. So this is simply a very small activity which we could do at home. This comes as application in the technical terms in the solid waste management process, but we need to do it now. The time has come that we need to put everything, our heart and soul, into action. Thank you very much.
To signify the launch of the 3R Plus and Takakura method, may I kindly invite our lordships to take part in the pledge of commitment towards this worthy cause. Reverend Father Mahanta Gunatilaka, National Director of Caritas SEDEC, will lead us. Can we all rise to take the pledge?
Commitment by the Bishops' Conference of Sri Lanka. In the name of God the Father, the Son and the Holy Spirit, we the Catholic Bishops of Sri Lanka, on this 23rd day of August 2017, at Balcombe Place in Colombo, are blessed with the opportunity to affirm our solidarity with the efforts of the government of Sri Lanka and the solid waste management program based on 3R Plus and the Takakura methodology, promoted by Caritas Sri Lanka SEDEC, in the conservation, better management and protection of the environment, and to take all necessary measures within the capacity of the Catholic Church of Sri Lanka to educate the public and curb the generation of waste, both at household and institutional levels, in an effort to conserve and protect the natural environment of Sri Lanka, for the benefit of our future generation.
I kindly invite our lordships to sign and endorse the commitment made.
My Lord Bishops, dear fathers and Reverend sisters, my dear brothers and sisters. And I also take this opportunity to thank in a very special way Mr. Jayavilal, who represents the Megapolis, and they inspired us to organize this program. Also, I wish to thank Mr. Anuradha, who was an expert on this Takakura composting model, and they are both here. And we thank them for helping us to improve or to develop this model to be introduced to our people. Thank you very much. And we give them a round of applause for their generosity and for their support.
අඳුරට සාප කරනවට වඩා ඒ තුළ එක් පහනක් දල්වන්න. එය වඩා යහපත් යැයි සිතන්න.